Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 306. I am Brendan. One Fight Night 13 on Prime. Okay, this is the Chingiz Allazov versus Marat Grigorian card. Okay, we're going to break down all the fights on this main card. We're going to break them all down round by round. Some different stuff here. We got kickboxing, we got Muay Thai, we got jiu-jitsu or submission grappling. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Real quick before we get into it, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. You like fight breakdowns, you like MMA in general. Subscribe so you know when the next video is coming up. Let's get started. If you are looking for a specific fight, timestamps are down below. All right, main event here. Allazov taking on Grigorian. All right, Allazov being the champion. He's got a particular style when you watch him fight. He's very active, and usually, you'll see him sit down on some stuff. He did not. He stayed real light on his feet, backed up, exited real well, circling constantly, making it very difficult for him, for Grigorian to track him down. That allowed him to just stay on the outside and pick him apart. Grigorian was waiting, and Allazov was peppering him, using combinations, going to the body with the hooks and uppercuts, finishing with low kicks. Allazov was mixing up so well. Grigorian was using, he was pushing forward, but he was keeping his guard up and waiting, right? This first round was all Allazov, 10-9. Second round here, Allazov throwing 3 or 4 shots, making things up, then circling out. Grigorian still can't corral Allazov, and he's taken 10 or 12 shots before he lands anything of his own. Grigorian finally gets Allazov in the corner, tries to unload, landing a couple shots, but most of them were blocked or, landed on the shoulders or the guard of Allazov. Really, there's a really hard step-in knee that landed for Allazov to the head at the end, and then Allazov, he's just working really well in these first 2 rounds, clearly his 2018. Then you start to see Grigorian pick it up just a little bit. So Grigorian is now throwing more. He's landing hard low kicks with a nice right hook. Allazov sticking to his game plan, staying on the outside, 2, 3, 4 shot combinations, and then circling. This round was a close round with Allazov landing more shots for sure. Grigorian landing some big ones, but it just wasn't enough damage. So I had Allazov up 30-27, meaning he could just coast. You saw that later. Grigorian staying in on the pressure better. He was using some hooks. He was staying in there, landing up top. Allazov was not moving as smooth off the ropes in this 4th round. Grigorian was not landing with the... he was the one landing with the longer combinations, and Allazov was having to fire back. This round was more for Grigorian, landing more damage, and finally with Allazov, more stationary and not able to avoid as much. So I had it 39-37 in favor of Allazov. Last round here, Grigorian is in on the pressure, really going for it, landing some hard hooks as Allazov's trying to separate with the knee to the body and circling out. Allazov warned for backing up and running away. He was warned multiple times for backing up in this round. Grigorian was slowing down, and then, Allazov's style started to serve him really well. Grigorian landing hooks up top, finishing with a hook to the body, staying in on him in the corner. Great performance by Allazov. Absolutely fantastic. Those first 3 rounds, picture perfect. 4th round, slowed down a little bit. In the last round, he ran away, but, it was a tactical one. He knew he was up, so he just stayed safe. Commentary called it a virtuoso performance. Now, if you had ended it after round 3, I could see that. But with round 4 and 5 going the way of Grigorian, in my opinion at least, it wasn't a blowout for Grigorian in the last 2 rounds, but, it's one of those things where it was a calculated move by Allazov, knowing he was up, backing out, and staying safe. So great win for him. If you like kickboxing, this was a really good one. There wasn't a ton of clinching, and it was a really good performance by Allazov. Moving on, Mikey Musumeci taking on Jared Brooks for the submission grappling. Brooks gets a grab, and then he gets Musumeci pulls guard, which he usually does. It's fine. Musumeci was using rubber guard. Brooks escapes and gets caught in a leg entanglement, but then he scoots out. Musumeci looking for the straight armbar sweep, and Brooks back up on top in full guard. Brooks using the hand and forearm on the throat, keeping pressure on Musumeci, trying to wear him out. Brooks stood up and entered the guard again with a cartwheel, which was pretty cool. Musumeci got a legit leg lock attempt in there. They called it a catch. Musumeci took the back from that position, and they get separated with Musumeci on the back for not enough action. I do not agree with the separation. This coming from an MMA point of view. So in submission grappling, I have less experience, obviously, watching these. So there could be more of a the onus is on the person with the advantage to do something in all positions, whereas in MMA, if you have someone's back, they're not gonna, because that was the work, was to get to that position. So you are in I've argued this before, it's the most advantageous position in MMA, having the back of somebody, because there is no offense for them, right? You have, it's 100% defense from that position. So if you did all the work to get to that position in MMA, it's close enough to finishing the fight to where they're not going to separate you. Same with mount. But in submission grappling, knowing that the only way to finish is with the submission there, and it's technically easier because it's easier to get the back, I would say, because there's no stand up, right? It's all wrestling, wrestling into position, jiu-jitsu moves for control and sweeps, whatever martial art you want to call it, as far as each individual particular move. So I still don't agree with it. I think the onus is on the person to get out of that position, and especially I think it's even more imperative in grappling. So I don't agree with that stand-up, but they do get stood up. Brooks gets on top and guard again. Musumeci gets a triangle locked up. Brooks was defending really well, and they're by the ropes, and they adjust him. They move him away, and because of that, it led to this. Like immediately right there. And when he separates them from the ropes, he straightens it out and gets that triangle arm bar finish. Musumeci's a monster, man. Seeing him he's just always attacking. There's never a safe position. It always feels like, it always sucks. If you've ever grappled with anybody like that, where no matter what position you're in, you can get submitted, it's annoying. in a good way. Like, he's doing his thing. Like, it's, when you're doing it, it's frustrating when you're trying to just do anything offensive, but you're always defending because that person's attacking you and is always one step or two steps ahead. So great win by Musumeci. All right, Tawanchai versus Davit Kiria. Tawanchai landing hard low kicks and push kicks. The kicks are coming fast and furious with Tawanchai. And Kiria is trying to close the distance, not landing the right hand or lead hooks as much as he wants to. Tawanchai is up. I had him up with those kicks. They just added up so much, 10-9 clearly. The kicks from Tawanchai are landing hard, and he's landing them nonstop in the second round. Huge left hook lands from Kiria, but he didn't land enough in that round, and the volume was just too much. Kiria is just on the defensive so much. So it's 20-18 Tawanchai, and then Tawanchai breaks Kiria's arm with a kick. It was a weird one. He kicked him really hard, and then his arm went limp, right? So because he blocked the kick, but the arm goes limp, and the fight gets called off because of that. Rightfully so. There's no reason to continue after that. I don't know if I have a highlight of that one. Weird. Guess I don't. Great win for Tawanchai. Just those kicks, man. They were brutal. Freaking hard kicks. Kim Jae-woong versus John Lineker. You saw this one in the thumbnail. Good God. Okay, so it's MMA. We're going to talk about this one. They trade low kicks to start. Kim is the one taking the center of the ring, trying to poke and prod Lineker. Kim with the takedown, landing some nasty elbows from half guard. He was on top and landing a ton of ground and pound this first round. Lineker pushed the hips and got the sweep to get on top, but this round was one-way traffic, so Kim was way out in front, in my opinion. Obviously, they score it as a whole, so it's not a 10-point must system. It's different, so you can make a comeback even if you're down 2 rounds, right? Essentially. It's a little bit different because if you have 2 really close rounds and then you win the 3rd round by like a crazy margin, then clearly it was it's your fight. So, Kim's way out in front with as much damage as he landed. So, Lineker was finding his range. Lineker was swinging hooks to the body and Kim shoots, but because Lineker was firing down low, using hooks to the body instead of going up top with him, his hands were already there to defend the takedown. So he gets an underhook or both underhooks and pulls Kim up. Kim he shoved Kim back, and then he got on. Lineker actually got on top for a couple seconds, but he stood him back up. Lineker was finding his range on the feet with the jab, and then Kim shoots for a takedown. And they get back. He got the back a little bit, against the ropes with that hip ride. The commentary is really pointing out the Kim jabs and front kicks. Meanwhile, Lineker was landing hard hooks to the body and hard low kicks. It's one of those things where the commentary keeps getting fixated on one aspect of the fight from one person. Usually one well, not usually. In this case, one person on the commentary team, I couldn't pick out who, was talking about the things that Lineker was doing well, but the other two were just, no. They just kept saying, like, oh, Lineker is up at, he's down a lot. He's down this. Kim was more active in this second round, going to the body. Who? No, he wasn't. Oh, so Lineker closed the gap a bit in this round, but I still had Kim out in front going into the third round. So Lineker really needed a big third round. Kim was more active this round, going to the body more often and using the jab. Lineker was digging those hooks to the body, but he's taking more shots this round. Kim was shooting for the takedown. Lineker is defending well. Kim wants to ride out the rest of the round on top, but Lineker just wouldn't let him. Kim kept trying to get the takedown to just clearly he wanted to just ride out the round on top, ride out the round grappling, and Lineker forced the issue and said no. The commentary team was talking about how much Kim was landing as Lineker was landing hard hooks and staggered Kim. Again, one commentary person brought that up. Huge hooks landing for Lineker. Kim trying for another takedown. No dice. Lineker lands a right hook to the body and huge left up top, putting Kim down and gets a finish right at the bell. So no need to push the narrative about Lineker. It was fantastic. What a great finish. You see this one here. Boom, that left hand, man. Woo. That was big. Big left hand. Holy crap. Put him right down. It was incredible. So because Lineker missed weight, which sucks, right? Lineker missed weight here. I think, he should be getting fined for that. And but he doesn't get the 50 grand bonus, which they brought up. I don't understand why they brought it up. And I don't think he should be eligible for the bonus, but we'll go over it when we get to 2 fights from now. There's a guy who cheated the entire fight, committed fouls nonstop and cheated, but he got a bonus, even though I don't understand the logic there. I don't understand. I understand Lineker not getting a bonus because he missed weight. Absolutely. I have no problem with that. And I went off on the dude in the PFL who missed weight. I think that situation's different because it's virtually a title. I know it's not a title fight, but they're in the playoffs. This is just a regular fight, and Lineker missed weight. Like I've said my piece on this so many times, so I don't want to get off on a tangent again. But Lineker has had this issue for a long time, and he needs to make weight if he wants to keep fighting in this goddamn division. I don't understand. ONE FC is supposed to stop this stuff, but I guess whatever their system is, still Lineker can't make weight. All right. Supergirl taking on Lara Fernandez in kickboxing. Nice right hand from Supergirl. Supergirl countering the lazy kick with a nice 1-2 down the middle. Fernandez was throwing a lot of low kicks, but out of range for most of her punches. Fernandez was starting to land her hands near the end of the round. They just don't have a lot of pop on them. Not a bad round for Fernandez. I just don't think she was damaging with the things that she was landing. So I had it 10-9 for Supergirl. Second round here, Fernandez is throwing a lot out there, and she's finding the target as Supergirl counters with hard punches, really hard right hands to the head and to the body. Fernandez was landing more and landed a right head kick. I think that's what this highlight is right here. It's funny that the one highlight is actually from Supergirl taking a head kick. Right, that was probably the most impactful shot that she threw. Supergirl ended the round landing a hard right hand and knees to the body. I said she might be up here because this second round was fairly close. All right, this was not a blowout round, and because of that, this could be going even. I had Supergirl up 20-18. I think it's going to be tough for anybody to go into foreign, enemy territory like this and come out with a close victory. Last round, this round starts out similar to the last one. Fernandez landing a lot of kicks and Supergirl countering with the 1-2, but Supergirl just isn't countering as much in this last round. She's slowing down. Fernandez landing a ton of volume, and Fernandez won this round for sure. She looked great out there. 29-28 for Supergirl, in my opinion. She got the unanimous decision here. Fernandez, if this goes 5 rounds, it's interesting. I don't know if Supergirl would change her pace, but Fernandez clearly had a ton in the tank, and she was the one leading the dance for a lot of this fight. She just didn't have a lot of pop on her shots. So, great kickboxing match to watch. All right, Marcus Almeida taking on Oumar Kane. This is Buchecha, right? The grappling wizard. They are heavyweights, and this is MMA. Almeida overextended on a right hand and got took a right hand in return, but then he ends up pulling guard. Kane was warned 3 times about grabbing the shorts in the first round. Keep that in mind. He was warned 3 times about grabbing the shorts. Both guys kind of sloppy on the feet, with Almeida putting his head down, constantly going like this, reaching out and putting his head down, whatever. And then Kane's out there throwing loopy punches. Or is it Khan? Oh, it's Khan, not Kane. Sorry. Oumar Khan. Khan was out there throwing like sloppy punches, like big looping ones. Khan was forces Almeida down to the ground again, floating over all the inversions that Almeida was doing. He was doing a good job staying on top. Khan was hitting him in the back of the head over and over. Herb warned him, making him stop, but not adjusting position or giving a penalty. Again, more penalties, doesn't lose position for it. And then by the end of the first round, these guys are so tired, and Almeida's taking the worst of it. Khan was ahead for sure. Buchecha grabbed the shorts, and now he loses position. What the fuck? Why? He does it one time. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but the other guy got away with that and got away with hitting him in the back of the head. After you warned him, you stopped his hand because you said, "Hey, knock that off," but you didn't make him give up position. What the fuck is wrong with you, Herb? Good grief. Almeida in his face, landing some straights and some lazy jabs. Almeida gets a takedown and gets right into mount, but Khan pushes him off and gets back up. Almeida shoots for a crappy double leg again and has to pull guard. Khan was warned for sticking his thumbs in Almeida's eye. There's another one. So crappy. At this point, I had it. Like, I hate watching this stuff when a guy is reckless and committing fouls left and right, and there's no repercussions. Other than warning. Warnings are not repercussions. Big right hand from Almeida as he enters for another takedown, but again, he ends up on bottom. Khan grabbing Almeida's inside of his glove. Then he argues with Herb about it. Dude, he grabbed the inside of his glove. Right? Like this. Grabbing the inside of Almeida's glove. Gets warned about it. They get stood up, and then he's arguing with Herb Dean. They get separated because of it. And then, oh my God, it's so bad. Oh. Now they're just standing in the corner swinging at each other. It was really weird. And then Khan grabs the shorts again, and finally there's a yellow card. It only took 13 fouls from Khan. This is a sloppy bullshit fight. I'd be furious if I was Almeida's team. Obviously, based off of the fact that, he was in a dominant position and he did more damage in this fight, Khan wins, right? But I wouldn't give him the win based off of what I saw here. I don't care if he wins. Like, this is garbage. So you just cheat to get the win, which is, standard practice in MMA at this point. He cheats the whole time, commits fouls nonstop, gets the win, and then he gets a $50,000 bonus because of it. This is what I was mentioning earlier with Lineker. Like, Lineker missed weight, shouldn't be rewarded for it. This guy shouldn't be rewarded either. He got a yellow card. He lost 20% of his purse, and then it gets made up because he makes another $50,000 on top of it. That's horseshit. God, get control of your guys, man. Like, this is bad. Like, how can you root for a guy who fights like this? How can you root for a guy who's constantly poking people in the eyes, constantly committing fouls? How can you root for people like that? Maybe if there was some other part of his game that was so exciting to watch. There isn't. He blows his wad really early, throws some big looping punches, and then it's just a tired hug fest for most of the fight. He's a big sloppy heavyweight like the rest of these guys. It's horrible to watch. Horrible. Bad fight. I don't recommend watching it. It's really frustrating watching that fight. All right, Edgar Tabares taking on Elias Mahmoudi. This is Muay Thai, so Mahmoudi in with the hands and landing 1-2. The 1-2-3 puts Tabares down immediately, right? Mahmoudi runs back in with a kick and then lands a nasty series of knees. Mahmoudi just unloading with everything, landing with the spinning. He's not landing with some of the spinning stuff, but just holy crap, he's just throwing everything out there. Another series of knees puts Tabares down, and it's all over. What a great performance. So freaking fast. Just pop, 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 nonstop. That was how the fight started. Good grief. He did not let up the entire time. Woof. Nasty. Alrighty. All right, Dagi, Arslanaliev versus Tai Ruotolo. Okay, so this is submission grappling. Dagi was using the collar tie, and Tai was countering with his own, getting off the center line really well when they were doing the stand-up wrestling. Tai went for the Uchimata, instead rolled under to get the legs. Dagi got on top with Tai inverting for the inverted triangle, reaping the leg, and then there appeared to be a tap, but there wasn't, and then Tai jumps on the back and gets a rear naked choke. So kind of a weird situation. Oh, they don't show it. Oh, there's some here's the supposed tap, which is weird. It was just one. He does this thing, and then they say no, and then he's like, okay, well then now we go again. Really strange. Then he ends up getting the finish like that. I don't like that kind of stuff. Because it both guys had a good attitude about it. It was just really weird. Fucking Ruotolo's nuts. So good. Rungrawee versus Nauzet Trujillo. This is Muay Thai. All right. Rungrawee was landing some hard body kicks. Rungrawee walking him down, landing the hard left hand. Trujillo was swinging hard. I can't tell if it's going through, and Rungrawee is still just walking him down. Interesting round. I don't think Trujillo did much damage in this round. So there's that. 10-9 for Rungrawee. Let's see. Rungrawee started the second round with another hard body kick. Trujillo looking to clinch up a lot. Nice right hand from Trujillo. Backs Rungrawee up for a second. Rungrawee right back in there with those body kicks. Trujillo was landing some hard right hands. You can give the second round to either guy. It looked like Trujillo landed more damage up to and with more volume. So I had it 19-19 going into the third. Rungrawee was landing those body kicks, and he's just throwing more out there. Trujillo is out of range with most of his shots, and this should be Rungwawee's round in this last round. Man, they don't have highlights from this one either. Well, darn. He ends up getting the decision, absolute unanimous decision, so they got that one right, in my opinion. Like I said, it's hard to go in enemy territory and get a win. Not just from the fight, but from the judges, too. Jhanlo marks Sangiao versus Enkhorgil Baatarkhuu. The K is silent. This was fun while it lasted. Yeah, see, where the heck did that one go? Anyway, Sangiao was using his kicks early low to the body and then up top. Sangwo, I think is how you pronounce it, landing a spinning back fist, rocking Baatarkhuu. Sangiao in on a takedown attempt, and Baatarkhuu was using the Kimura to defend, and he did. It was fantastic grappling on the ground from Baatarkhuu. Nice left hand landing from Baatarkhuu, and he landed a nice 1-2 combo. Sangiao was landing back, and he dropped him with a right hand. Sangiao countering the low kicks and landing with a 1-2. First round, I gave, Sangiao, I had him up after this round. Decent amount of damage from him. He was definitely up. Second round, Baatarkhuu rushes in, landing a hard elbow and gets on top. Baatarkhuu gets the north-south and went for a Kimura again. And then Sangiao went to tap, and Baatarkhuu lets go of it a little bit and then has to tap him again. So another situation, like two on the same fight card. Like he makes some kind of tap, and then he officially gets it here the second time. Great submission finish from Baatarkhuu. I think Sangiao was actually undefeated before this, so great win for him. Fun fights. All right, I had more fun watching this than I did the PFL this weekend so far. So, the PFL's kind of taken a turn this season. It's not as fun to watch. People are being a lot more analytical and, playing the odds, so it's starting to become less fun over there. You're not getting the crazy mismatches or wild slugfests or crazy grappling stuff. Not as much anymore. All right, if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel so that way you know the next video is coming out. I recommend it. Go if you didn't watch this and you got Amazon Prime and you want some fights, throw this on in the background, just listen for the screams and the oh kind of stuff, and then go ahead and check it out. It was a lot of fun to watch. I do appreciate what they're doing over there, and I can't always catch every single one, but I'm happy I watched this one. It was fun to watch. So love y'all. Have an amazing week.